Hmm. Okay, so last time we talked a lot about mm, how Bodhisattva could sacrifice their life for others. But for our common people, it's not easy, right? Because most of the time we do things for ourselves, for our intermediate families, not much for communities. So whenever we step out of our shell to help others, that's what we call the Bodhisattva path. Mm, okay. So number three, their self-enlightenment and the enlightenment of others are free from all contradiction. These activities is called non-resentful. Oh, um, this trigger my memory about the Diamond Sutra. In that Diamond Sutra, Buddha said that I cross over all living beings. That's why I become Buddha. We talked about that before, right?
We talked about the idea, because it's in the Lotus Sutra too, that um, I have already caused all living beings to attain the Buddha way. Uh, we've discussed that before, but I don't think we've discussed the phrase from the Diamond Sutra.
But a similar way, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at first, when I came to that sense, then at first I have a doubt. I'm one of the sentient beings that had not been crossed over by the Buddha yet. So how could the Buddha say he crossed over all the sentient beings already? It makes sense now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, later on I understand in the deeper sense that he crossed over his own sentient beings of his mind, his mental affliction. He purified all his mental affliction already. That's why he became Buddha. The internal sentient beings, and we are the external sentient beings. That's what his self-enlightenment is about, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what the Theravada is about. So they focus on self-enlightenment. They cross over their own mental affliction, mentality, and so that they can attain to arhatship. That's all for them. But in the Maha tradition, that more on enlightenment of others, right? So
Would you do you think it could be possible as well, kind of like if you remove a stopper from a bathtub, you could say, now that I've removed this stopper from the bathtub, all of this water will drain out. So you could say, I've already drained out all the water. It's just a matter of time. Like that, your interpretation of this, it's like for the internal one on board totally makes sense. And the sixth patriarch talks about that approach, the living beings of one's own nature.
mhm.
Um, but then a really good news would be if the other way was true as well. Kind of like, how the Buddha gave all of these prophecies of attaining Buddhahood to the assembly. And so the Buddha clearly, and we already know the vision of the Buddha sees far. Maybe, maybe the Buddhas see that all living beings eventually do attain Buddhahood. And when they have done their role, like then they see it when they have done their role in their self-development, then they see that.
Mhm.
And so they can say that since they've done their role for that to happen, then they've caused all living beings to attain Buddhahood. And like eventually, you or I will be in the position to, do our part in that bigger picture that is like I don't know, maybe in a way, in a sense, fated to happen, kind of like, these predictions of enlightenment. But the predictions just, I kind of get the sense like the predictions are given at the right time to where they'll be helpful,
Mhm.
but it still could be true earlier. Like before Shariputra was told that he would become a Buddha, like he was still going to become a Buddha earlier. It just wasn't the right time for him to hear it.
Mhm.
So maybe all living beings have, in a sense, been carried across too.
Kind of, but still, we're still in the reality. We still common people. We still common beings. We still revolve in the birth cycle again and again, from one lifetime to another, until we cross over all our own sentient beings. Cross over does mean we enlighten ourselves, right? If we still have some anxiety, we still have some craving and so forth, they still lead us to the cycle of the birth. We know for sure. But that's why we practice meditation. That's why we recite Buddha name, recite the mantra or sutra to remind us that we need to cross over them first. That's our job for the self-enlightenment. But job is to enlighten other too. But here it says I'm free from all contradiction. For the louder tradition, no. I just want to attain arhatship. I want to have my own self-enlightenment. I, I don't care other. That's their business, not mine. So if they say here, oh, we need to help other to attain enlightenment, they say no, this contradiction. If I take care of others, I don't have time for myself. I don't have time for my meditation. I don't have time for my uh, chanting. I don't have time to calm my mind and so forth. That's just the contradiction. But here, the beauty of this is, yes, the self-enlightenment and enlighten others are, are free from all condition. They work hand in hand together, right? But it's pure top for us, right? For us,
Mhm.
let's say, let's say in your case, sometimes you like to do meditation, but your wife and the other may not like. In my
Mhm.
case, even I like I like people come on every Friday evening or Saturday morning to do meditation, but only few of them to come. That's sometimes I need to be patient. That's all. I open the facility. I set the time for them to come, but only for some of them. Mm, Only less than 10 of them, but it takes times. But if I don't have the patience, I say, no, it's not too many people have interest about that. I need to give up. I need to set my time for others. I will not care much about them anymore. Right? So
Mhm.
that's why enlightenment others is so important for us in my higher tradition. Um, mm, let's say let me put this way. Okay, so let's say you've been at Anglak Temple, right?
Mhm.
Temple, and let's say somehow that temple can focus on Vietnamese only, no no local people, no American people allowed, or they don't welcome or they don't have any function or forum for American people. And what happened when I'm talking about next 100 years, couple of years, or 300 years from now, when all the Vietnamese Buddhists have been passed away and all of their children, grandchildren move somewhere else, and there's no trace of Vietnamese tradition at all. So the standard become a empty house. That's happened to so many Chinese, Japanese, especially Chinese Buddhist center in the 18th century, and also 19th century and early 20th century in San Francisco and in New York. And there's no trace of them anymore now. You know what I'm talking about? So
Hmm.
if I put some effort in encouraging the local people to come to my center, right? At least I hope that at least that next 100 years, 200 years, or 300 years, at least some local people, they still like to come to do some kind of meditation. They still carry on that meditation tradition. I don't know how long, but at least there's some kind of continuation there. It makes sense now?
Yes, yes.
So my effort won't be in vain. Instead of spending my time for myself, time my time for my own Vietnamese community, that's my vision.
Hmm.
Yeah, that not only the intimate one, but in the future wise. So that's why in uh, Theravada tradition, there's no big deal that you just focus your mind on practicing yourself to enlighten by yourself. That's all. But they would not care much about other people business. But at the end, when you're done, they get done of their life, and they may not have anyone to carry on. But at least in our Mahai tradition, right? Even we spend our time for our own practice, and we have others. At least we can prolong that benefit to communities. Not only this lifetime, but the next lifetime, whenever it can be continued. So that's why I think somehow it's so yeah, it's so unique for us to follow this path, the path of Mahaya tradition. Otherwise, if we think about ourselves only, we would not care much about our people business. And of course, the result is no one care for us too. Right? Mm,
Hmm.
mm. So, mm, of course, I think you feel comfortable with this path too, right? Helping ourselves and helping others too, right? Mm,
Yes, familiar with it. Obviously, haven't perfected it, of course. But the idea of living beings as the blessings field, that it's not in spite of living beings that we develop virtue, but it's because
yeah.
of the living beings in our life that we develop virtue.
Mhm. Yeah. All right, let's see. Let's see. Next lifetime we born in Thailand, we born in Sri Lanka, we born in the Sarada country. You think it's a possibility that we can continue to do the Bodhisattva path, Bodhisattva work anymore? Or it's pure rare chance?
I think it's possible because likely we would hear about it.
Mm-hmm.
At some point we'd hear someone say about how the Mahayana wasn't legitimate, and having already uh, studied it, we would probably be interested in learning about it. Like, what do you mean it's not legitimate? Like, this is something that some people say the Buddha taught. Like,
Mm-hmm.
well, I would probably want to take a look at it,
Mm-hmm.
and then would have the opportunity to be inspired.
Mm. Mm. Anyway, yeah, if you look and learn about history of Buddhism in those Theravada country, like Thailand, Burma, Sri Lanka, and so forth. Somehow, up to now, it's pretty rare to hear that there are some Buddhist hospital, Buddhist clinics. There's some kind of charity there, but I'm talking about long term. Of course, they have some kind of Buddhist school of education, but in this in the society wise, so there's not much involvement in the Theravada tradition, like the Buddhist one.
Hmm.
And uh, and that's why yeah, of course, because of that kind of affinity, that kind of vow somehow we carried since the past up to now. So that's why we love Mahayana tradition. It's so flexible and it's so beneficial for us and others. Otherwise, for me, it's boring. Let's put it this way. In my case, tell you frankly that if they don't have the chance to go to teach at two university now, it's boring. It's boring for me
Hmm.
because most of the time I just care for my own Vietnamese Buddhist people. That's almost the similar people, not the same. They're exactly some of them come and go, but most of them I don't know I know them well. Whether I go to New Jersey, the temple in New Jersey, the temple in St. Louis, the temple in Houston, and the temple here. Most of the time I know them. I know them already. For me, it's boring.
Hmm.
Why it's I'm so glad that I have a chance. Probably Buddha bless me that I have a chance to go to teach at these two university, Indiana University Southeast and University of the University of Houston. And in my field class, we just start 5 weeks. We have more than 10 of them join in for our 5 week section. Yeah, and some of them, one is a Arjun professor who teach English. Another one is she's a restaurant manager for the whole Kentucky and Indiana area. Other honor student too. So I have a chance to explore. I have a chance to see those kind of people that like to learn about not only Buddhism but also about meditation. So for me, it's just it's more interesting than
Hmm.
just just stay at the temple and teach the same people again and again. Just do the service, the spiritual service for them and so forth. Anyway, so probably we have built in those kind of spiritual patterns in the past life. That's why somehow we enjoy that, right? But not others. Everyone is different. And I think in your case too, right? You enjoy your work and you enjoy some of the moment that may share something with your patient, right?
Oh yeah. Oh,
Mm.
definitely. Any opportunity I have to share any of the teachings is I take it. Um, Usually there's a lot of opportunities I want to, but I it's not appropriate. I can't just like there's not the opening to share something. So I've gotten better with not speaking too soon about stuff if someone's, not going to be receptive. Yeah. Just reading the sutras, even not teaching them to anyone else, just reading them is really uplifting.
In your profession, right? So you see people come and go. You see the new people all the times, right?
Hmm.
So that's why you have more opportunities to share whichever, whether it's Buddhist knowledge or meditation or whichever, you have the chance to share with them, right? Just imagine that you just stay home by yourself and you understand how to do meditation, how to do chanting, how to recite sutra, and you would not have any chance to share. Is that boring, right?
Yeah, eventually I think it would be very boring.
So that's why I think somehow it's drive my mind here. Self-enlightenment and enlightenment order, free from all contradiction. I don't see any contradiction. If
Hmm.
it's still I am an enlightened person, but it would not see any contradiction and I enjoy that. Of course, sometimes it, like we have after school program or like we uh, Here, you know, last Sunday, a group of children they sat in the front, right? They made a lot of noises.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Of course, some other people, if they don't understand why we put the children in the front, then this will be they would be bothered them, right? But for me, because they need to understand those type of principle. Even they noisy, but at least we can send, you can give them those kind of information, pass out those information, remember kindness to parents. And later on, then we grown up, they may remember one here or there. Otherwise, if we don't care about them, they would not care much about our tradition. They would not learn much about our tradition. So of course, for other people, they think that the temple is so sacred, that whenever they come to the temple, it should be quiet, right? But here,
Mm-hmm.
have children, they run around, that
Mm-hmm.
in front of them and so forth. It may irritate them, but because they don't understand our intention. That's why last time I explained to them that at school, they would not know much and would not learn much about the pain, the kindness of the parents, right? In the American system, they would not talk about that much, right?
No.
No way. They talk about, okay, how to become a doctor, engineer, be successful person in life. That's understandable because it's mature life, this mature society here. But anyway, so at least we spend more time for them. At least they learn something, and so that they can carry on for their life. In my view, this is more meaningful. But for other people, if they don't understand, it's waste of time. You understand now, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've for years now, I've noticed the approach that you've taken with the young people. And to me, it from the outside, it really looks like, you want to meet them where they are to a certain extent so that they're not scared away, so that they like going to the temple, not being overly strict with them, but like kind of gradually trying to bring them along. But yeah, young kids are going to be like that. We can't really make them like, we can't like sit down, be quiet. They have to sort of like become comfortable and get into that groove naturally.
Yeah, you see how they perform the line dance and dragon dance, right?
Yeah.
We pay for them, but they enjoy.
Yeah. They're getting better and better.
Yeah, they no one pay for them, but they enjoy with these kind of activities. That's why many of them they spend 5 days at the temple, 4 days up after school, and one Sunday. That's mean total 5 days at the temple. So temple is the second house, second home for them. And
Mhm.
when they grown up, they will remember about something that they learned at the temple when they were little. That's
Mhm.
is what instill the Buddhist tradition, Asian tradition in their mind. And of course, it sometimes it drain a lot of energy. And even after school program, I don't charge any penny from the parents, but have to pay for the tutors, because of course when they come, they have to get some kind of stipend, they have some kind of salary, to drive the car around. But for me, I won't charge any penny from the parents, but I use the temple money to pay for those tutors so that we can keep this kind of program going on for the children, for the sake of the children. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's a really good example of this number three here that we read because um, from your perspective, right, you could have more free time to focus on different elements of your practice, and if you didn't contextualize it as part of your practice to do this, then there could be resentment. But I can see it definitely developing patience Because I mean, sometimes the kids are just they're like being so noisy and unruly, and you have to be patient. And then also skillful means you have to develop the skillful means to not like to not push them away,
Mm.
but to kind of gradually sort of lead them along. And then there's definitely generosity. So yeah, I think it's you can really see how there isn't a contradiction in the process of trying to, you know, help someone else understand the teachings too.
Yeah. Last Sunday after the celebration, I went to a wedding function to facilitate the wedding ceremony in Louisville. And the couples, they are my former student. Um, the groom, I think he's about 30 now. The first time he met me when he was about 10, 11 in South Carolina, when I first came down there. His parents brought him and his sister for vacation. Somehow we met down there. And later on, I moved up here. And he and his father went up to the temple in Corinth to plan to help for the construction there.
Mhm.
This little boy. And the bride, right, the girl, she followed me so many years until she finished high school. Of course, from high school up to the time that she became a dentist, she busy with her life, with her education. But at least now, I have a chance to preside the wedding ceremony in the Buddhist tradition.
Mhm.
Mm. Otherwise, let's say if I didn't get involved with their life spiritually, they would not care much about Buddhism. They would, or I don't know, or would they make invite all? I don't know. But anyway, so the point I want to say is that I don't see any contradiction between self cultivation and helping others. Just go hand in hands. Of course, sometimes it drain our energy, right? But for me, it's meaningful, especially when we deal with the children. Right? You have one daughter, sometimes she drains your energy easily, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mm, yeah, but anyway, so as long as we understand our Bodhisattva path, so we will enjoy that. Otherwise, for common people, they would not care much about others. Mm. All right, so please, number 4.
Their continuous appearance in countless forms in the unending future for the welfare of others, free from the conception of space and time, is called an exhaustible activity. Yeah, so balanced around compassion for all living beings and seeking only to liberate beings from their suffering and establish them in the ultimate happiness of Buddhahood. The bodhisattvas manifest in countless forms, whatever form a living being would need in order for them to, make progress, that they'll manifest in. And this is like, I'd say this is one of the great secrets of the universe, like that blessings come from uh, altruistically helping others.
Mm.
And then it's like reinvesting those blessings, like a businessman may reinvest the profits from a company, like Jeff Bezos continually reinvested all of the money from Amazon to grow as rapidly as possible and didn't actually make a profit for, I think it was over 10 years. It might have been like 15, 20. Maybe Amazon has never actually made a profit. I don't know, but they could be making it now. It took them a long time. And it seems like a bodhisattva is like that because they've gone beyond the selfish desire. So then all of their blessings are truly dedicated towards the benefit of all living beings. So they're just reinvesting all of those profits into the same venture. And so their blessings just magnify to this point of them having kind of tremendous power in the world. Um, so it's really uh, just such a beyond uh thing. It's such an amazing thing.
Yeah. That's why for the Buddha past life, sometimes he was born as dog, as elephants, as bear, and so forth. He would not care much about the forms. The important is to keep up with the Buddhist path to sacrifice his life for others. Mm. So no matter what form of supply, no matter where he live, it's go beyond. It's like free from conception of time and space, right? Go beyond from time, go beyond the space, right? Whether in India, whether in America, whether and so forth. But of course, sometimes for us, because we have limited resources, sometimes we may refer to live in some kind of favorable places, right? This could enhance our practice, it could enhance our work, right? Hmm. Otherwise, if we have a lot of obstruction, it's not easy. It makes sense now, right?
You said live in what spaces?
I mean that, let's put this way. Um, let's put this way. Okay, now here, if I live in Vietnam now, right? There's
Mm-hmm.
no way for me to go to university to teach college student. Zero chance,
Mm-hmm.
because they have a policy that they would allow the Buddhist monks and nuns to get engaged in education. They're concerned about the religious influences on the people. And for them, they want to control people. They don't want to have any kind of uh, influence beside them, outside influence to the mass beside them.
Mm.
In this country, I guess some kind of and tell frankly, there's some kind of discrimination, some kind of obstruction, but at least I still have the chance, right? And I have a chance to go to teach at university level.
Mm-hmm.
That's why American is the ideal place for many people to live and work. This fulfill what we call American dreams, right? Instead of
Mm-hmm.
China, Vietnam, and so forth. Yeah, sometimes I feel sorry for people from the South, right? South American people like El Salvador, uh, mm, uh, Venezuela, and so forth. They try to get into the country because over them, the spirit taught for them to go to school, to get the job, for them to sustain their life. So my point is, yes, for Bodhisattva, Red Bodhisattva, if since because they have all kind of blessing, so they would not care much whether they live in Vietnam, they manifest themselves in Vietnam, China, or anywhere else around the world, or any form of life. Mm, doesn't matter with them because they have all kind of skill and blessing to handle things. But for us, especially for me, I have my limited resource. I have limited knowledge and wisdom, and limited skill. So it's better for me to choose place to grow my skill, to develop my skill, right? Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So that, yeah, that's a bit different between us and the Bodhisattva, but still, uh, it is still mm, uh, that's why I think we discussed before, right? Let's say next lifetime, we know it that we will be born again. So for me personally, I would like to live in the free country to develop my own skill, knowledge, and experience. I don't know about yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Rather do a free country than than a a dictatorship or something where there's a lot of control in a bad way.
yeah. Even Dalai Lama, he said that he would not be born in China, right? He will be born in the West. He born
Oh
in
yeah. Yeah, China's not the place to be born now for Buddhism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So even him, right? Even Dalai Lama say that he has so much blessing, he has so much wisdom. And
Mhm.
us, we common beings, we have limited resource, knowledge, and skill. Right? When we deal with those kind of obstructions, sometimes it's not easy for us to move on. Mm. Yeah, and we're so
Yeah.
blessed. Yeah, we're so blessed that we live in this country. Even this, of course, nothing is perfect, but it's much better than other places. Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Ah. All right. So let's stop here today. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.